Yo, welcome to another episode of Open for Discussion. I'm your boy, C. Maurice Ball, and today I have three phenomenal young ladies that I'm talking to. They are amazing at what they do. They're creating change. They're being a voice in a place where the voice is not being heard as often. They're taking a stance, and they're sisters. Oh man, this is going to be a great conversation. I tell you, when you meet these young ladies, they're going to wow you with their personality and their energy. And so I am really looking forward to this conversation. So without further ado, we're going to kick this intro and then we're going to be right back. Kick that intro. Well.
What a freaking intro, dude. Yes. What a freaking intro.
Well,
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it.
I'm about to take the world champ title. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm introducing to some and present to others these three amazing young ladies that are out here doing big things out up in these TikTok, internet, social media streets. And let me just tell y'all how I came across them and why this is so special to me. So, for y'all who don't know them, I'm going to show you how they came, how I seen them. I don't know if this is the first video that they did, but this is how I seen them. Here we go.
We're black girls in Utah. Of course people ask about my DSLs. Why are you asking about my internet?
We're black girls in Utah. And of course we know how to code switch. Hi, Sarah. Girl, you better wear that dress.
We're black girls in Utah. And of course you want to be my friend, because I'm your only black friend. We're black girls in Utah. Of course I like fried chicken, watermelon, and grape drink. Sugar, water, purple. We're black girls in Utah. And of course I'm too white for the black people, and I'm too black for the white people.
We're black girls in Utah. And of course our parents named one of us after the Jacksons.
We're black girls in Utah. Of course I'm related to that black person that you worked with 3 years ago, because of course there's no black people in Utah. I'm related to all of them.
We're black girls in Utah. And of course everyone stops and stares. Take a picture. It'll last you longer.
We're black girls in Utah. And of course you want to touch our hair. But don't
touch our hair.
So that's how I came across them. And I was like, yo, first there's black people in Utah. And so I was intrigued by the video and I said, let me start following them and trying to see if I could get them on to kind of share their story. So I just kind of social media stalked them a little bit and sent a couple of messages, did some things, and I got a response. And I was like, oh, okay. Then we sat down and we talked, because I think it's weird coming on somebody's show or podcast and you haven't spoken with them, and it's kind of awkward because you don't know the feel or the vibe. And so they sat down, they took time out of their busy day and sat down with me and chopped it up. And I was really appreciative. So I am really excited that they said yes, they get to pull up and hang out with your boy for a minute. And we just go kick it. So introduce yourselves in by birth, the oldest to the youngest.
Okay. Well, I'm Kandyce. I'm the oldest. And yeah, I'm the oldest. Is that it? Like that? That's it for right now. Now let's go into LaToya.
I'm LaToya, the middle sister. And I'm Sher'l,
A lot of people don't get my name correct, so just in times of COVID, think Purell sanitizer, Purell, Sher'l. You'll never forget it.
Yeah, Purell needs to come through for that one.
Purell.
I'm just saying.
I know, listen, I'm not done yet. And I'm obviously the youngest. Crazy.
That's funny. So Sher'l is a famous singer from the 80s. There's a Sher'l from the 80s.
Yes,
So look
that's
her up.
who
She
I'm
got some
named
really good
after.
music. LaToya Jackson is LaToya Jackson. And then Kandyce.
Yeah, just Kandyce. Not just. Actually, this is. I don't mind saying our maiden name, but if you guys remember the show Full House back in the day, do you remember
Yeah.
DJ Tanner? People used to, in high school, people used to call me DJ Tanner because my name is Kandyce Cameron. So, but I'm Kandyce Cameron. Okay, I'm no offense to other Kandyce because she's great, but I'm Kandyce. Yes.
You know what? That's a great. See, I should have pulled that up. I could have showed a clip or something. So I have a story to start this off, and I know we're here to talk about y'all and to get to know y'all, but I'm the youngest of three as well.
Oh yeah, you the baby, aren't you?
I am the baby, and I'm the only boy.
Oh.
So yeah, I am my parents' favorite. Yes, 100%. Yep.
Been it real.
So I relate to I call her the baby. I relate to her because we in the same boat. Yeah. So what's the age difference between what's the age difference?
We're a year and a half, and I think we're 5 years, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
And we're 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So we're really close in age. But like the big difference between, because we have a brother as well, and the difference between him and I is 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Really? You didn't know that?
The math is mathing on this one.
No, that's
Yeah.
I guess I never really. I don't know. I never really thought about our age differences because, like, I feel kind of like how Kandyce said. I mean, minus William, we are pretty like we don't have too much of an age gap, but there's enough to where it's like we feel like we're not of the same time frame, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, like you are. I mean, like you could tell the difference. I could tell the more mature one. If I was just looking at you, you said y'all sisters, I would think that I could tell who the oldest is already.
Oh, me? Crazy.
No.
How'd you guys?
that would be me.
Yeah. See, when you're more mature and you already got like babies and stuff like that, you just act motherly. So she even how she's sitting there like y'all better get it together and.
I think it's her presence. To me, like it was because I mean I knew Kandyce, my sister before she was like Kandyce the mother, and like she's just her presence is very much like demanding, if that makes any sense. And I mean I think it's just obvious to tell that she's kind of like the leader of us because of her presence.
Yeah.
There's a picture on her fridge that she was in a play and someone literally put the presence on the photo.
I mean, it's true though. I mean,
so were y'all what are the dynamics growing up? I know for like my siblings, there was a period where me and my older sisters was real cool. Then there was a period where I didn't really rock with her like that. Then me and my middle sister was real cool, and then they never really got along. I mean, they're in their 50s, and they would still be fighting. Well, up until my sister just passed in November, but my middle sister, but they always fought. What's the dynamics as y'all were growing up? Have y'all always been this close? Have y'all always kind of shared a common interest because y'all were the only African American? I ain't gonna say the only, but in y'all's people group, did that forge a bond between y'all?
I mean, I think to some degree for sure. I see, the way that I see our relationship is I feel like we've always been close, but we have our little moments where we bicker, you know, as you do when you're growing up as kids. I mean, Sher'l and I, we didn't really like each other growing up, but I still loved her. You know what I mean? Like, nobody, like, it's one thing if I did something to her, but if someone else did something to her, we about to be throwing hands. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, but I feel like a lot of our childhood, you know, kind of forced us to be close as well. You know, childhood, if you want to call it childhood trauma, whatever. But we come from a divorced family. We actually, our parents, when they split, us kids were split as well. So there's 4 of us. And so 2 of them, which one of them being Sher'l and then our younger brother, they went to our dad's, and then LaToya and I stayed with her mom. So, and it was, I don't know if that was like our decision or if that was.
It was our decision. I remember.
So, but yeah, but we've always had like this close dynamic, but we've had there's that bickering bit, especially between her and I, being oldest, her being the youngest. I feel like I've always had like a really close relationship with LaToya, even though we had our moments still too. I don't know, you guys can weigh on it too.
Sher'l, I feel like you have something to say.
I don't know. I think like as Kandyce mentioned, like I feel we've always been close, but I think it would just have to depend on like how old we were and what the situation was. Because I think once when, like, for example, our dynamic was kind of always the same, where I would always get on kind of some of LaToya's nerves. I would do shit. They would do shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just sisterly stuff. But then, like, when I was 11, when I moved with my dad, I feel that changed our dynamic entirely. And I feel that also changed our dynamic going forward, even to this day. So it depends on.
That makes a whole lot of sense, Miss LaToya. I don't want you to feel like you don't have that you can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because you deferred answering. You passed the puck. You was like, okay, no, I know you have a voice, right?
I do. I mean,
yes.
I know since Kandyce and was talking about specifically like Sher'l, I know that Sher'l, I could feel it, but Sher'l's like, I got something to say about that. So I'm like, I'm okay with passing the baton. And I will also,
and I'll pass the baton back to you.
Well, it's like I was gonna say before I was interrupted.
I do that.
I always will like, and here's my 2 cents on the whole thing. Yes, I would agree with my sisters about being close because, yeah, growing up in a predominantly white state, it's really hard to find other folks that look like you and understand their experiences that you're having within your own households. So it does bring you closer, and also as like friends. But then also as siblings, we definitely had our moments. Like I reflect often sometimes of like how Kandyce and I became friends, even though we had our moments of like not being friends because we were kids, you know? And so like I would do like this sisterly thing where I'd take her clothes, that whole like thing. And she was trying to carve out her own identity while I was trying to carve out my own, and how they conflicted during those times when we lived in that household. And then with Sher'l, trying to understand her and everything that she comes from, and the age gap does sometimes play into that, but also I'm constantly inspired by who we are as individuals based upon what we had to go through and how we all have varying perspectives on our childhood and how that influences and inspires us individually. So like I think it brings us closer, and I agree with what Sher'l said, like that time when our households did split, it did cause a moment of like, how do we feel in the times that we weren't able to be together, and how that did affect us, and how that made us stronger together, but also causes those conflicts, if that makes sense.
That makes a whole lot of sense because we have a lot in common. The same thing happened with me and my siblings, and I left it with my dad, and my sister stayed with my mom. And so the dynamic of them growing up and fighting all the time was because it was just something that they just did. I was outside. So my perspective of their relationship was different because they only see me on the weekends. So I can see that when that happens, you take a bond for how, you said that y'all were 11, so for several years, and then you separate that, and now you're still forced to keep the bond going as y'all growing and maturing, and so to kind of figure out how to move these pieces without being angry, without being mad, without pointing fingers, and still operate in love. That I can see as that growing up could have kind of been a hurdle. So, did y'all attend the same high school?
Kandyce and I did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. But Sher'l and our youngest brother, our younger brother and our core four. Okay, hold on. I gotta explain something real fast. So we got because I don't want to miss out on our other brothers.
Yes,
either, because we have other brothers as well, and they're just as important. So this is we including our brother William, we're the core four. So we're the children from our parents' marriage. And then our dad has a couple of other children, from different women. So we have half brothers. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, the face said it all, but
y'all can read my face. Sher'l's face. That's putting it next.
But yeah. So I don't want to, not include them, but if we're talking about like our immediate families, the four of us as siblings. So. But what was I talking about?
High school.
Yes. High school?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So William. So William and Sher'l, they went to the same high school, and LaToya and I went to the same high school. Mm-hmm. There was a little gap where we all went to the same elementary. Well, obviously not William, but I think we all went to an elementary school together. I think 1 year
for a second. Yeah. For a hot second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Sher'l, how was high school for you? Having your brother, y'all are close in age. You and your brother, are y'all close in age?
We're like 5 years. Yeah. So we didn't like attend. The only schools that we really attended together was elementary school.
Oh, I didn't.
It was the same high
school.
But
yeah, I went to junior high by myself, and high school by myself. I had a stepsister at the time who I went to school with, but like, right. Anyway, so, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay,
That's funny.
Yeah. So
that's funny. I read in between the lines on all that. We no need to. You got to go there. I read it.
But high school for me, high school sucked, dude. School sucked balls. Not gonna lie. Like I think it was hard navigating because like I'm the youngest out of us sisters. So when I'm with us. Even my younger brother, he takes on kind of like an older role where I go to him even for advice. So even when I'm with us all together, I still feel that I fall into that like younger sibling role. And I love it. I'm not mad at it. But then when we split and I moved with my dad at 11, I turned into the oldest. And so it was a really weird, I don't know, dude. It was fucking weird, not gonna lie. And then, like, so navigating that, and then, like, I was not the cool person that you see before you today all the time. So I was pretty much a loser too. So like, feeling like alone, and I had no friends, and even like the black friends that I had. I shouldn't say that, but like the black people in the school, I was trying to be friends with them, but like they wouldn't accept my ass either, like there was this one guy I went up to, I'm like doing stupid shit just so they could like know me. Obviously I know Tupac is Tupac, but he was learned to Tupac. I was like, is that Tupac or Tupac? Bitch, I wanted someone to say hi to me, fuck, from my old time, you know what I'm saying? And like, it didn't work. I couldn't fit in with anyone. So it
actually hurts my heart a little bit.
You know what? It hurt my heart too. So trying to, it just wasn't a good experience. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was kind of a lot, and I didn't really handle it well.
Can I say something? I think too, the fact that you pretty much had to go to school alone, I think that's something to like really look into. Because LaToya and we had each other. Yeah. Whereas like I am just realizing right now that you just had school like you were in high school alone. Like that's
what I'm saying.
Like that makes
I got this.
that's a
I'm a
lot.
tough it.
That's a lot to navigate on your own.
And she, like, may I say this too? She was even in a more like very, very.
Oh, I
very
was in Utah County.
white.
Fuck Utah County.
Yeah. It was,
So you talking about you were less, you were the you were the 0.01% of the
Yeah.
school.
Oh,
pretty much.
basically, yeah. And in Utah County, it's very much like, like Utah, in my opinion. I mean, it could be better, but Utah County is just an entirely different beast. It's like there's no ethnicity, and the ethnicity that's there, somehow they find all your brothers and sisters, which is really like my brother and my dad. And so like it was really weird. It was just like the extremes of like all the negative stuff that you could experience.
Uh-huh.
That's Utah County.
Right.
So it forged. Did that scar you? Did it taint you in any kind of way as you start to navigate? You know, as you got older and you started to kind of put the pieces together. Did that taint your view or perception of anything? Because being one of however many y'all had in your school, like my son right now, well, he just graduated, and he's in college now, but we're in the 1% in the area that we live in. And so there were 12 black kids in his school and 27 if you throw in the 15 mixed kids. And so and then he was the only one. It was two black kids on the basketball team, him and another kid. Then he went to the high school. It kind of got a little bit more diverse because we put him in another school, then we put him back into his regular school. But then you talk about no more than 50, maybe 60 black kids throughout throughout his time. And it's hard. And this is for this is just in general for all y'all. When you don't have the example or identity that you can attach to kind of forge and say, hey, it's cool to be a black person. It's okay to be comfortable in your own skin. My son used to try to fit in, and I'm like, son, your hair don't do that. Son, you can't go out the house like that. You know these things. And then I put him in this other school, which was a charter school, and it had more diversity in it. And he started to see young black boys that look like him. Now I got a lot of bad things that I could say about this school, but it gave him one thing. It empowered him to become okay and comfortable in his skin and gave him black boy power. And that I am grateful, because he wouldn't have got it had we kept him in the same school. So Miss LaToya, what was your experience like in high school?
You know, in high school, it was better. I mean, unfortunately, I got made fun of relentlessly as a kid, for my hair, I was painfully shy, so I didn't talk a lot. I was not your cool kid, because I just felt uncomfortable everywhere, to be honest. So when I got to high school, or more like junior high, I remember being like, okay, I can dance and I can move and stuff. So I auditioned tried out for the cheer team, to think that it was going to be helpful to become like, you know, that identity thing you're talking about with your son was something I definitely went through, where I was trying to figure out where I belonged with who I was, especially being othered on a constant basis since I was a kid in these school educational systems. So I did the whole cheer thing and tried doing that, and I got kicked off. You know, life was happening, and dramatic like stuff in my household was happening, so my grades dropped drastically. And then I went back to what I really loved doing was acting. And acting really allowed me to start to dabble into like who I really was and what my voice sounded like, and who I could be. And it empowered me in a way that's why I still do today as an actor. It provided a space for me to express, to play, to open up, to take risks. So by the time I got to high school, when I figured out that's where I want to be, I started to have a completely different experience, at least in that world in that space of creativity that helped me find an outlet for myself. So my high school experience wasn't, at least in that regard, wasn't as painful because I found community, which was really important. But on like the bigger picture of things, definitely experienced like continuous othering, not only from the white counterpart, but from other Black students as well. But they were raised in white households. So that also is a dynamic that, or intersectionality that I was like, what is going on? We should be like homies, we should, like, we're the only ones, right?
Right. It's just us.
Together. And that was not the case. So I definitely had to figure it out on my own and find my people wherever I could to survive high school. But I mean, I felt like that community in the arts really helped me to find a way to navigate it better.
Okay. Miss Kandyce, what about you?
High school. I honestly, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite. It's not something I would want to go back to because I feel like being in Utah as a Black person, just where you're just in a sea of white, it was hard because you're trying to figure out, who you are as a Black person, but also trying to navigate that in white spaces, but I remember, this is something that stuck out to me or still stands out to me to this day. I remember because we used to get relaxers. We don't do relaxers anymore because we're embracing our natural hair. Well, I'm wearing a wig right now, but I still love my natural hair.
It's part of my culture, though.
Okay.
I got to show the video of y'all having your hair fight.
Something that I remember growing up when we would get relaxers. I know the reason why Mom did it is because it was easier for her to do because she had 3 girls. It was hard to do. It was hard back then. You would call it hard to do our hair. Like I have a daughter now, and I don't ever tell her that her hair is hard because I don't want her to ever feel like any sort of negativity about her hair. So I always, we have our challenges, but I don't ever say it's hard, Anyway, that's a side note. But we would get relaxers growing up, and I remember we'd run up and down the street so that we could have our hair flowing in the wind like the white girls. I know there's other Black girls that had done that, and our hair still wouldn't really do that. No, So, but that was the environment that we were in. But I just always remember not really feeling. I didn't really feel like I ever had a place. I always felt like I always had to mask to be, we were always the token black people. So I felt like we had to act a certain way. People, like, oh, Black people are ghetto, blah, blah, blah. So we'd have to put on that persona of like, hey girl, like that sort of thing. And just be the token Black friend. You know what I mean? But I found choir, and I wish I would have found theater like LaToya did in high school, but I found that later in life. But I was a choir. I would call myself a choir nerd. I loved choir. I loved to sing, and that was kind of like my space where I was able to be myself and find my people. But yeah, I wish that we could have seen more people like us growing up, back in the day, being in elementary school and high school, but. Because LaToya was saying how she was made fun of a lot too. Same. I was made fun of all the time, and it really, really, really badgered my self-esteem for a long time. So
I can imagine. It's tough when you have no examples, nobody to forge through the fire with you. It's definitely difficult. Now, this may sound. Are y'all from a mixed family, or are y'all is your mom white or is your dad white? Are y'all mixed?
Yeah. So that's actually a good question because that's a good question. But we'll go with start with our parents. So our mom, she's biracial, so she's white.
Okay.
Our grandmother is white, and her father is from Alabama. And then our dad and his side, they're from North Carolina. He's Black. They're all Black. So I used to, back in the day, I would always just say to people that I'm mixed because, I have, because what are we, a quarter Caucasian at this point? So. And so, but recently, like in the last few years, one of my really dear friends, I said something about being mixed, and he's like, "Honey, you ain't mixed, you black." And I'm like, "But I always say I'm mixed." He's like, you black." And he's like, "Your mama's mixed, but you black." And I was like, okay. So I mean,
I don't understand the difference. I don't. I say I'm both. I say I'm mixed.
But you're not.
I don't know how I'm not.
So you know that the black gene is the dominant gene.
Well, yeah, but like
yeah,
still have parts
and your mom is mixed.
Yes.
Yes, that don't mean y'all mixed.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I know what you're saying, because it should say that y'all mixed, but technically y'all all came out kind of brown skinned, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So whatever's the most dominant, that's what you go with.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm understanding?
I mean, we could, yes and no, because I feel like in society, like we could go way deeper into that with the whole one, you have the one drop, all that stuff. You have black people that are white passing that literally, like, they literally look like they could be white, but they're black, but we've had this conversation before.
There's a good movie that I watched. It was on, I think, Netflix, and it was about a young lady who went through her whole life. She was really, really, really light skinned, and she was in the 40s and 50s, and she went through life as a white woman. I mean, it was just easier for her.
So that's weird. Is that the movie with Tessa? Is that the actress Tessa Thompson?
Yes. Yeah.
I need to see that movie.
It's really good. It is really good. So y'all make it. Y'all survived high school. Probably OG gangster style high school. Probably ready to smack everybody that looked at you crazy and said anything.
I wish. No.
No.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't do that, because if I did, the other black dude that was older than me happened to be my dad, and he'd beat my ass once when someone told him that. So
yeah, it's true. We're actually quite timid growing up.
Really?
I know that doesn't seem like that now, because we're living in ourselves now.
We blossomed.
Yeah, but
y'all grown.
We were really timid, really, really timid. Even this one.
Hold on, real sec. I gotta plug my laptop in before it go dead.
Okay.
I'll edit this stuff out. So let me plug that in.
Get that plug. Get that plug. Get that plug. Get that plug. Oh my gosh.
I can't dance though. I'm just playing. I'm from.
That's a vibe.
I came out of the household where you grew up dancing. They call you in and make you put on shows for the friend. Oh, come here, show them a new dance, and you in there all shucking and jiving and everything. So
all the time. We will put on Michael Jackson's Dangerous album. Yes. And we'd invite all our neighbors. Mind you, we lived in a white neighborhood. So we would be like, come on, guys, we're putting on our own little show. Like other little kids, we'd be putting on Michael Jackson's Dangerous and putting on our own little shows.
Yeah. Is that a Mandela effect? Because I don't remember that. I feel if that ever did happen, we would have also gotten our ass whipped.
No, we didn't. No, our parents, Dad was like, that's my kid. Yeah. And all the other adults were like, I'm going to leave. Yeah. They thought it was, the other people thought it was weird.
But I don't remember that at all.
I don't know if you were there, actually, now I think
about it. Okay, that makes sense.
Was she there? Yes.
Well, if I was there, I don't remember. And if I wasn't there, it makes sense.
Okay, I get it. Lock it out.
Yeah, y'all are awesome. Y'all are. I love to see the dynamic. Now, did y'all attend college? Did y'all go to college in Utah, like locally?
Yes. I graduated from Weber State University. So I graduated in Child and Family Studies, which is something I don't actually use, which I think is a whole millennial thing right now, where they say you get a degree and you don't even use it anymore. But
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of do. But yeah, I went to Weber State. Toya.
I had my training from Southern Utah University. Went to theater. Stuck with
Theater.
it. Yeah.
And I graduated from Cosmo School.
Cosmetology school.
Yes. So that was kind of my college. I did go to like some college at like Utah University, in Salt Lake City Community College, and then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go do hair.
You know what? College is not for everybody.
No.
Like, I'm not a college dude. I went and I did finish, and I last semester I dropped out. I was like, look, you know what? I can't take this. I'm over here stressing, and I'm losing sleep. I'm writing papers that I don't care nothing about. Your analytics class. I don't care. I speak for a living, and you gonna critique me on how I speak?
Right?
Well, I'm like, no, don't nobody talk like this in the real world. Like, this is so. I get it. And so, surprisingly, guess what else we have in common?
What?
I'm a barber.
Oh,
I've been cut for 25 years, and my wife is a licensed cosmetologist, and she's been doing hair probably. She's not in the hair business now, but she was doing hair probably about 30 years. Yeah.
I've been
So-
doing hair. They say you should count school. So counting school a little over 13 years.
wow.
I know.
I'm saying already.
Crazy. Yeah. And then in the state of Utah, if you go to cosmetology, or if you, as a Cosmo school, you're dual licensed. Well, I should say more than that. Like, I have my basic aesthetics, I have my barbering license, Cosmos, like hair design, and then I have my nail tech stuff too. But I'm more part of like the barbering side of things. Can't stand dealing with chicks, like not my department. Dudes, it's where it's at. That's what I get along with. It's where I feel safe.
But you have two sisters. Shouldn't that help you be more open
Hell
to?
no. Hell no.
See, that's
That
the thing
is funny.
People don't understand sometimes. It's like when you grow up with sisters, they think it's like all.
Wait.
I think
Sorry,
people don't
I'm gonna
understand.
cut you off, and then I'll let you go back.
Let me go.
People
It's
don't
my life.
understand.
Let her finish.
No.
You don't
I
know
will.
what I'm
I
saying.
will. I swear I will.
All right, go on.
People don't understand is that if I did their hair, I would fry it off.
Oh,
Okay, go back.
I wasn't even gonna say that.
I fried off LaToya's hair.
She did.
Anyway, keep going.
She did, but it was my own fault because I didn't wait long enough for my hair to do its thing, to rest, and I was like, just do it now.
That was really my fault. But anyway,
Her hair though after that was amazing though.
It was. So, c'est la vie.
okay,
But-
Well,
What
I
was
look at it
going-
like this. It ain't nothing but hair. It'll grow back.
Right, exactly. And look, it grew back. So
And you got and it looks good. It looks
thank
good.
you. Thank you.
I-
Anyone who does hair, I will take that as a compliment. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But as you
Yeah.
were saying, LaToya.
As I'm saying.
So y'all got this crazy dynamic going on, and I just love the dynamic that you all have. That I mean, I really sense in y'all videos like the love that y'all have, and like it seems like y'all just really enjoy each other. It that's what it seems like. Like it's a good, like, hey sister, I just want to sit here and hug you all day kind of thing.
No.
No.
Said no.
No.
Well, Toya, you're gonna say something about like the sister dynamic.
Well, yes, the sister dynamic is this. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we, a lot of the times, not a lot of the times, but there are times when definitely we need to take our corners because our ideas conflict or just how we show up with who we are conflicts. And then we have to, work at our relationship actually, I would say. And of course you'll be able to pipe in, but we definitely work on it because we do have, even though we're very similar, we're so very different at the same time. And that how we show up is how we show up. And then there are times where you can just kick it and it's a good day, and we're just hanging out and laughing and holding space. I will say this though, we will ride or die for each other no matter what. So if anything, like Hannah said, if anyone comes for us, we will come for you as a pack.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, like don't mess with us.
But that's the code though.
That's the code.
That's
how we roll.
That's the code. Like you can't talk about my sisters.
No,
I can.
But I can.
Exactly.
And when I got married, I told my wife is the youngest of 3, and she's the only girl. And so I told her, I was like, look, I am gonna never ever put my hands on you. I'm just gonna call my sisters, and I'm just gonna let them handle it.
I'll never go fisticuffs with my sisters will, so make sure you come correct.
You look like you can fight too, though. You look like you can throw some hands.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, listen.
Don't be giving out your secrets. No?
Listen. That's all I'm gonna say.
So how was dating for y'all? I ain't gonna even going through high school. I mean, like, how is dating for y'all now? Like, do y'all use each other as vetting processes? Like, hey, I got this cat that I'm kind of seeing, and I need you to kind of, assess him and make sure that he good.
You know what? That's interesting because we all have very different types as well. Like, there's every once in a while we see, we'll eye somebody and like, oh yeah, oh you think he's cute too, but most of the time, like her type, no offense, I'm not into her type. And then she doesn't like my type, vice versa.
If I find them ugly, she's like, oh my gosh, you're attractive. And then if she finds them ugly, I'm like, oh, where's your number, baby? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And then to me, LaToya's somewhere in the middle. Like, I feel the people that she thinks are cute. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Well, okay.
Yeah, but as far as dating goes here, I mean, I think dating in general right now in this time and age is hard. It's so hard. But I think also being Black women in Utah, where it's predominantly white, there's not a lot of Black folks here. And I date all types of people, but for myself, I would like to end up with a Black man because I feel like I want to be with a Black man. And it's interesting that I say that now because I think back in the day, I would have just been like, just anybody, but I feel like there's just there's just common ground there, and like there's a special understanding that they're all obviously going to have that I have. You know what I mean? But again, who knows? Who knows what will happen in my future? But I feel like dating these days is just so hard because people they're not upfront anymore. Like nobody talks to each other. They ghost you. And first of all, the Black guys that are here don't want to date us to begin with. I'm
really?
I'm serious. No, serious.
That's serious.
Serious.
I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. Like, I'm trying to like choose my words wisely so I don't come off as like a bitch. I have like, at least when I started like going out to like clubs and stuff like that. I don't do it anymore because I'm just too old for that stuff. But when I was younger, like 18, young 20s and stuff like that, I would go out. And that's where I had more encounter. I guess I feel when I was out in the club, Black men specifically felt like they had a free pass to my body because I was Black. So that steered me away from Black people here in Utah. I've never experienced so much disrespect in my life than from my own kind. And that's fucked up. So because of that, I don't prefer to date Black guys. And then I did date one Black guy a few years ago, and he was just like all the negative traits the negative stereotypes, that Black people get labeled as. And I was like, like I'm good. Like for me, I haven't experienced as much disrespect as I have from Black men. So I would prefer to like.
Okay.
That's fucked up to say.
No, I mean,
Miss LaToya?
it's your experience.
I mean, keep it
Yeah,
real.
it's your, you know what? No, but you know what though? Here's what I'll say. Dating as a whole is, as y'all said, is tough. It's difficult. I just did a podcast on Thursday about the dating rules over 30. So I sit on some panels, and my homeboy is one of the couple of my people are these dating experts on TikTok. So they got a nice following, and they talk about dating, and it is definitely difficult. And I and definitely say I can understand what you're saying when you're saying that the choice is different. So Ms. LaToya, where you stand at on the dating piece?
I mean, dating nowadays is not a thing. I mean, it's the whole app dating world, which I think is just so interesting. I mean, my experience of dating here, I've only really been in 2 serious relationships in my life. Because no one wants to. I mean, I don't know if y'all can tell wearing all black and how I talk. I'm very serious. Very serious and intense person. And so, you know, some people can kick it with that and some people can't. And unfortunately, sometimes like in college, when I was like really excited to see like what the pool was going to be, that just wasn't an option. You know, Black men and white men and other men were just not into who I was. So I just, you know, I just could keep it rolling, you know, but I'm sure out there are amazing, amazing people. It's just, it's harder to connect in a world that's disconnected right now. So.
And if I could add to that, I think too, another thing that's a huge dynamic here in Utah is that there's the religion here.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you're not part of the main religion that's here, there's a lot of people that don't want to interact with you.
Yeah.
And
Which is Mormon, correct?
Yep,
Exactly.
Mormonism.
Yeah.
And fun fact, we used to be part of that for a little bit.
Forced into it.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that's you'll be hearing that.
Let's clarify that. We was forced to be a part of that.
We were children at the time. So, but no, that'll definitely be a topic in our podcast. But
Sure.
But no, I think too, because I remember growing up and just like even being asked to go to some of the dances, you know, like I remember one of my friends back in the day was like, my mom doesn't want me to ask you to homecoming because you're Black, you know, like, and it's just because Black people steal. I was like, what? Like weird stuff like that.
I mean, we might steal your heart, but you know.
Okay.
Right.
No one just
Or you could be like I was and really stealing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, hey, I'll tell you what. Yeah. The guy that y'all see now is, yeah. There's a whole history behind this dude. He was not a good dude
you know
at
we
all.
Have to be on your podcast again. I'm just saying.
Oh, for sure. Hey, you know what? Hey, I'm always down. Always, even outside of here, you know, we didn't even got to be on the podcast. We could jump on and just talk. But I was, you know, do y'all have a desire to live outside of Utah?
Yes, I do. And I'll speak for myself only. Being someone that so we grew up here, but in my throughout my 20s and my early 30s, I was very, very blessed to travel performing. Like I did various shows all around the world, and was able to see just the world, which was amazing. Because like here in Utah, it's like its own little like.
It's a bubble.
It's a bubble. That's exactly what it is. It's a bubble, and you hear it from other people outside of Utah as well. Say it's just there's a culture there. It's its own thing. I remember thinking like just this random thing, like growing up and just in the dating world, like I personally didn't get a lot of attention from guys, but when I go outside of Utah, the amount of attention that I get, it was very, very like eye-opening to me. I'm like, oh, people think I'm cute, like that sort of thing. Like people actually, notice me. But you saw other people, different cultures, and for me, I was like, I can't settle here. I don't want to settle here. Now that I have my own children, because I want them to see people like them. I need them to see people like them because I personally, I didn't like being Black when I was growing up. I didn't, and that's a really bold statement to say. I know, but look where we were raised. Where it was constantly
Right.
putting that Black is negative. There's negativity surrounded by Black. And it's just. But I mean, now as a grown woman, I love my Blackness, and I'm sad that I ever felt any sort of negativity towards it. But yeah, so I kind of went all in there.
No, but to be honest, like I didn't like being Black because and I came out of the hood. I went to a predominantly Black high school. It was probably 80% Black teachers, Black principal, Black counselors. Like I grew up in that, but it was always this thing that, like you create these self-conscious things that you start to believe, these false narratives about yourself that become truths because you start to look in the mirror and you start to validate, oh, I got a big nose, oh, my lips, oh, my skin, oh, my, I always wanted the blue or hazel eyes. And I'm like, can I get contacts? My dad's like, what for? I'm like, I want hazel or blue eyes. He's like, boy, keep your brown eyes. And, it was, so I tried to attach my identity because it wasn't that, and we can all relate to this. My dad wasn't telling me Black was beautiful. My dad he was an amazing father, but he wasn't sharing like it's okay to be Black. It's okay to look different. No, it's okay. And because I was in school with a bunch of other Black kids, hairstyles were hairstyles. So if we did the box, if we did the low fade, if we did all that stuff was just normal. So it wasn't like I was trying to say, hey, I want my hair to be like this. It was more so I thought I was way too dark. Because my mom is actually your complexion, Kandyce. My mom is your complexion. Yeah. And my dad is darker than me. So
wow. Genes.
And so I came out I came out darker and I always wanted to be lighter. And my son went through that in 7th grade. Again, I told you he trying to do things that culturally we just don't do, and he was trying to fit in and find his place. And I remember one time, because he has this huge big old smile, and his face, his mouth was just too big for his head, right? So he smiled and his teeth were bigger, but his teeth were all straight. It wasn't like he had them jacked up teeth or anything. And he came home one day and he's like, Dad, can I get my gums and my teeth shaved? I'm like, for what? He was like, because they said I got big teeth. And so now I got to go in and surgically remove and repair. My wife and I had to go in and show him that it's okay to be comfortable in the skin. So that's when I was really excited when he got to the school where he seen other kids that looked like him, and he found his Black boy power. I'm telling you that when he did it, me and my wife, we just sitting there looking at each other like, oh my, he done found it. Then when he put him back into the school that he was that we took him out of, they had a high school, and he's walking in with his swag, and it was only a handful of them, and to this day, like they all hang out. So when they come home from college, they all just be here for about a week, and it's just they just doing their boy thing. So they was just walking one day. We went to a basketball game, and all 4 of them was just walking across the thing, and I was like, it was like I thought they were all my sons. Like I was just so proud because they all stood up and was representing. So I get the thing. Do either one of y'all have a desire to get out of Utah?
Yeah, I do. I used to feel embedded and like kind of anchored here because I feel like I have work to do here, like work to like of change. I'm a huge
Uh-huh.
advocate and activist here as well. And also, I'm realizing with all the fun legislature that keeps passing in this state, it's just so much of the system to fight against, you know. And I'm like, whatever work I can get done here and with other people who are doing the kind of work that I'm doing at the same time, then that's my time. But I don't feel as anchored as I used to be. So, you know, moving out of the state kind of is something I'm in the future will be looking at. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
You're becoming a flight attendant, right, Sher'l?
Yeah. So with me changing into the flight industry, I mean, at first, I definitely wouldn't move at all because I love my family so much to the point where they kind of almost handicap me. Because like, you know, if God forbid something happens, like I'm really only like a 30-minute drive away, like I will get there. Where if I move out of the state, I have to rely on like other people to get to my family, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be dependent upon that. But now with my career change, it's opened up a lot of possibilities. Granted, if I pass training, that's the plan anyway.
You will.
And
You got this.
yeah,
Light work.
yeah. Thank you. And it does open up like, well, maybe I actually don't need to live here, you know, like maybe flying or trying to get to my family through like you know, other means of transportation isn't as scary as I think it is. So I don't know, it's definitely something I've thought about more now that I'm changing so we'll see.
Well, you know, there's a whole big old world out here, and this is, you know, like I can honestly say I think all y'all are beautiful. So when y'all get out into the space, really get outside of Utah and enter other spaces, y'all are beautiful. So, and I'm not just saying that, you know, to try to, but I'm honestly saying that because I just scroll through y'all. I'm like, oh, they cute. Look at them. I mean, y'all got swag and flavor, and it's just that here's the hard part about being comfortable in your own skin in a place that don't accept you. You'll never fit in. That's the hard part. Nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, girl, your hair is banging because you got the curls, you got it bouncing, and all da. And you looked at it." They're not gonna do that. But you're gonna go to if you go to a place that appreciates the culture, then y'all will get complimented. Guys will be approaching. Um, so I don't limit yourself, and don't let fear be the reason you stay close. I love my family, and I'm the youngest of three. I bounced. I went to North Carolina. Peace. You know, and the only way I landed back here in Indiana was because this is God brought us back here. But never be afraid to expand your horizons because outside of Utah, there is a whole world and a whole bunch of things going on, and you can still be an advocate for the things that you're trying to stand up. And now you can just partner with other voices outside and say, hey, let's go over here and challenge the system over in Utah. Let's do this over here. So I just want to encourage y'all to take risk. Y'all young. You know what I mean? Like y'all young. No response. Kandyce, I know you got two amazing, beautiful babies, and but y'all young. Like
Yeah,
I'm
we said
50. Yeah, y'all got time. So
I
so
think it's
okay.
oh,
Uh,
sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'll make it real quick. I think I appreciate you saying that. You know, the part where, you know, staying in Utah, we just like it just doesn't feel like we fit in. And I did with some interviews, me being a flight attendant, I actually went out to Atlanta, Georgia, and that is predominantly Black. And even though I've experienced some negativity within like my own group here, it was like a completely different story there. Everyone was so kind. It was so complimentary, and like I had actually never seen that side of like my culture before. And it's just things like that that make me realize like, damn, I really need to get out of Utah. You know what I mean? Like, and I really need to learn some stuff, even about myself and my own people too. So it was a really, I don't know, it was a really good experience, and I look forward to getting more of those experiences as I start to, you know, travel more.
So we lived in Atlanta. This is what I tell you. You gonna go from Utah to Atlanta. You got to kind of ease into that. You got. That is ultimate culture shock.
For real.
Yeah. You gotta kind of land maybe in like Nashville or somewhere where you can get integrated on in bits and pieces, as opposed to Atlanta.
No,
you're gonna be in a thick.
all of it. Like turning on the news, that was a trip. There were like black news anchors. I was like, oh shit, this must be how black people feel. And then like every commercial, there was like black people. There was maybe like one white person every like 4 commercials. You know what I'm saying? Chicago and like too. it was so
Chicago
different. And like it was so positive, and I absolutely loved it. And I wish that there was more of that in Utah, where here I just feel there's so much like people, like black people say we're for each other here, but like, are we really? Because they don't show it. Where like everywhere else, it seems like, yeah, dude, come hang out with us. We're homies. And I'm like, okay.
But I will say one big thing about that. I think it's because we always have to be fighting against so much of the system here too.
Yeah.
And so
right.
Like, it's hard enough to get even through a door here. And so it feels like you have to fight. It's so siloed here, which we're trying to figure out how to break through to know that we aren't alone. But it's just the system is so ingrained in the culture here that it's so hard for us to even find each other, because we're fighting so hard to even stay afloat. Right? So I mean, I'll say that about like this, like, you know, when we find each other, and we try to hold on to each other as much as we can. But because of everything that we're fighting against, it kind of does create those yeah. So I will say
and assimilation is hard because the dominant culture says you have to assimilate to us. And all the other minorities in the area are saying we don't want to be ostracized, we don't want to feel left out, we don't want to be by ourselves, these are our friends, so we're going to assimilate to the things that make them comfortable, as opposed to connecting with the sisterhood and the brotherhood and the camaraderie of everybody coming together and doing their own thing, right? Did y'all watch Bel Air with Will Smith?
Oh, the new show or Fresh Prince?
Not the Bel Air, the new one.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, so y'all should watch it because Carlton is in Bel Air and it's the same thing. He assimilated to the culture, right? And then Will, coming from Philly, is like, yo, we don't get down like this out in Philly. We don't let people just talk to us any kind of way or say certain things and put a check mark by it because, oh, it's okay because of X, Y, and Z. I think y'all will really, really like that. It's on Peacock. They're not sponsoring this show, so if y'all hear this, Peacock, I need some bread. But but you know what? I think that y'all are doing an amazing job, and here, you know, I just feel this in my spirit. I think that, and LaToya, you said you still have some work there. I think part of y'all's mission with this podcast is to find the other little girls who are like y'all and connect with them and empower them and encourage them, even if y'all gotta create something where y'all go to the library and rent out a room and have them to come and y'all able to speak to them. But I really feel that strongly that there are several other little Black girls out there wondering and trying to figure out, like, dang, this sucks. and y'all have already walked the path, and y'all can create a safe space. So even pushing y'all's podcast to that younger generation, have to be be rated G. And
Yeah.
but I still think, but the realness is that's who you are, and that's the authenticity that would draw the young people to you, is because this is what I like about y'all. Y'all are authentically yourselves, and you're not trying to fit in. I appreciate that. And I appreciate that. I say, I'm like, oh, they rocking with who they are, and they like everybody else, So I think that that's really something that y'all that however y'all do it, and we can talk about it and offline, and really, because I do that for a living. So I could definitely help throw some things your way. But let's talk about y'all podcast. That was a hard left. Uh so how was the podcast formed? Who was the originator, and what was the dynamic of y'all all coming together and sitting down and saying, hey, this is how we going to do this? And I'm pretty sure there was some cat fights and some misunderstandings and all that. How did the podcast get birthed?
Oh my gosh, you literally nailed that on the head. Okay, so I reached out to my sisters, and I mentioned the idea. I personally, I just don't like we have stuff in common, but like when it comes to like individuality stuff and like whatever you want to call it, I don't really get along with those two as much as I would like to. Like they're very much drama geeks. I'm not. And like I watch anime and cartoons and they don't. So like we just have a disconnect in that way. I bond better with my brother. And like him and I are a clique, and those two are a clique where we're all, you know what I mean? And that's totally fine. But I would like something where we all could work towards something together or on a project together, so we can, just have more things in common, I guess. So, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Sounds like a great idea. And yeah, it was kind of hard to start out with. I think there's still some kinks that we're working out, but our personalities, I realized, are like really different. And like how we deal with tasks are different, and how like sometimes I'm blunt and to the point, and sometimes that can come off rude where that's not my intentions, and then someone gets their feelings hurt. And I mean, I wasn't gonna name any names, but hell yeah, she gets her feelings hurt. And then like, I have to be like, listen, dude, like this isn't what I'm trying to do at all. We have to figure out a way how we can work together. And then LaToya is always just the mediator. And then if she has to be, she'll be Stonewall and be like, listen, you bitches figured it out, okay? While I just like step back. So I don't know. It's been interesting, but it's been good because I learned more about my sisters. And it turns out we actually have a lot more in common than I actually thought. So yeah.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about it? What was y'all experience?
I wish. I mean, honestly, I was very shocked and surprised that she wanted to do something like that, because Sher'l Sher'l's just Sher'l. She does her own thing. She does what she wants, and she owns that, and I love that about her. But when she said that she wanted to use this really as a chance to like really get closer than what we already are, is like, I love that. I really, really love that. And like really at the end of the day, she's this hard ass, but she's a big teddy bear. This girl loves her family. Like what she said earlier, that her family has handicapped her. That's something that we always talk to her about. Like, don't let us handicap you, because she's just amazing. She needs to soar. But thanks. but no, like I wish that we had more time to really just focus on this, because I personally I won't speak for you guys, but I feel like we have something. We have something to share with the world. You know, maybe it is for those little Black girls. Maybe it's for who knows who it's for. But at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, we have something to share, and I want us to continue doing this. And I love getting the chance to be able to get to know them on a different level than I didn't know that I could get to know them even more than what I already do. And I love that.
Yeah, I would agree. It was interesting that Sher'l was like, let's do this. And I was like, I'm the sister who's like, okay, we'll see. Because like, we dream big, and that's what I love about us. Like, we dream very big, and with what I do and everything, it's like time is so valuable to me because I'm always busy trying to make my dreams come true. So when Sher'l was like, let's do this, and I was like, okay, we'll see. And then when she really actually came through and she was like, no, let's do this. And Kandyce was like, yeah, let's do this. So I was like, all right, well, okay, let's give it a go. And we've had so much fun. Now, mind you, yes, we've had many of conflicts that came up, and so many times where, yes, I will step back and I'm like, y'all get to figure that out. Let me know when you're done. I'm going to go drink like a beer over here. So holler when you're finished. But when we start to move, or, you know, I'll come in and be like, all right, let's pause. Let's really figure this out. So we can move forward with what we're trying to do. But it's been really fun. Like, there's so many times that we'll laugh. There's so many memories that become unlocked because stuff that I can't remember, Sher'l or Kandyce will remember. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, how did I forget about that?
Right.
The good and the bad. And just getting to hang out with them more regularly as adults, and like building not only this like strong sisterhood, but friendship is like, it's invaluable. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of healing too, because when we separated when I was 11, there was like 7 months that I didn't see them, and like you can't get that time back. You know, I missed a lot, and they missed out on a lot. So in a way, I kind of feel like that's kind of what I use to make up for those lost times.
Oh,
yeah, I love
you know what? That touched me. Like, you know, that is but that's some good introspective, and I think that again, I think y'all sitting on something powerful, because one thing y'all are not doing is expecting each other to be each other. You are giving each other the space to be who you are, be your authentic self, which is the dynamic, which is why everybody likes y'all stuff, because it's personality driven, and you're not saying you have to be older, and you're not saying you have to act younger, and you have to, and then LaToya's there like, I'm just over here, I'm gonna let y'all do this, and I'm just gonna kind of, no, it's all like gumbo, which I probably never had before, but if you ever get a chance to. Oh, okay, great. I'm assuming that was an assumption, which was probably not right, because y'all in Utah. Like, where you gonna get gumbo at in Utah, right? But
let's be real. It's Utah.
Yeah, right. I got it. This is a. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I was about to say something crazy.
Say it.
I'm about to say something crazy. So as you can see, I have y'all's Sistas Unscripted on back here on the screen, and let me put up y'all's I'll add it, but let me put up y'all's IG.
Okay.
So
there we are.
This is their IG. Of course, their TikTok is the same, and
Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube. So I'm going to add all that stuff and put all the pictures up so people can really follow y'all. Follow them. Like, they are funny. They are the dynamic of them, even just jumping into their lives and just watching them talk and interact with each other is just fun. They are amazing. They're turning Utah upside down. And I think that this is going to give y'all a seat at some tables, because y'all are making some waves. Y'all are doing big things. And y'all are putting Utah on the map. Like, I had no interest in Utah. I don't even watch the Utah Jazz. You know,
Hey, after
If
Donovan's
it
issue, you
wasn't
don't need to watch us.
Oh.
so, if it wasn't for y'all coming out dropping y'all video, then I would not have no idea. Oh, I do have a
Give me some,
question though about
sis.
that video. I do have a question. What is
Okay.
DSL?
Oh shit.
I mean, go for it.
Well,
Do you really not know what it is?
It's internet, my
You said don't
guy.
ask about my internet, so I was like, I know that's not what that is.
It's internet, my guy. It's
Got you.
internet. You gotta look it up.
You know what? We've got a lot of
Okay,
comments.
I will definitely look that up because
You need to go to
when you
Urban
said don't be asking
Dictionary.
about my internet, I was like, that's
Urban
not
Dictionary.
really what that is. So yeah,
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah. Go to
I
Urban
got you.
Dictionary.
We got to keep it PG-13. We got to keep it PG-13.
We're trying to keep it.
Dude, I dropped the F-bomb so many times. This is rated R at this point. Yes, Google DSLs and then check out the Urban Dictionary. And yes, I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but I would get asked that a lot. I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah.
What? Of course I play stupid. Why are you asking about my internet, homie? Like, what's going on? And they're like,
Swipe next.
That is funny because I was like, nah, it ain't internet, but I'm going to look it up and I'm going to and I'll send y'all a message with with some emojis because I'm pretty sure it's not. So what are y'all currently working on? What's the next big thing? When y'all launching your podcast? When what we got going on? When can we catch it?
Well, that has been the big question because like it's been hard to kind of get us all together because obviously 3 sisters and we have different lives. We're all grown, all that stuff. I have kids, but we're really shooting for end of summer to start getting that out. We have a bunch of episodes that we have recorded. We're still recording. So we're really working hard to get that going because we've been having a lot of people asking us the same question. So, but personally, I'm not really doing anything other. Well, actually, no, I am doing some stuff personally. I can't really talk too much about it yet, but I started my own business, and so I'm trying to make my own table and trying to get out of corporate America because that's the thing.
For sure.
I need my time back. I want my time for me and my kids, and I want to, I have that dream of, it's everybody's dream, I think, of being financially free and having freedom of your time. But I'm definitely working on some of that on the side. I'm hoping that will launch this year as well. But that's personally what I'm working on. What about you guys?
Oh, I just wrapped my first lead role in a full feature film, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you. So I'm just trying to continue on that path of being an actor, being an artist all around, and looking for the next adventure. But along with that, just some future projects that are going to be coming out that I'm trying to figure out what to do because some offers are coming in, which is really exciting. And yeah, hanging out with my homies, my sisters, so we can get this stuff moving along. And so, and if Peacock wants to give me a call about Bel Air and put me in, let's go.
100. Let's do it.
Right?
I am all for it. Hire her. She good.
Sher'l?
Oh gosh, the next project that I'm working on, probably beating Hotline Miami 2 on Xbox. So that's a difficult one. As far as like the next big thing I'm doing, I just got to get my ass through this training that I'm going to be starting here soon. So I can just move on to my next career. Still do hair on the side, of course. I love hair. Hair is always going to be a passion, and giving people those pampering fades, haircuts that they want. But I'm excited to just get out and learn more about what the world has to offer and develop myself as a person with all the other perspectives of the world. So that's just what's going on with me.
Well, look, y'all are fun. I really enjoy y'all enjoyed this. And here's a question, and I want y'all to this I want all y'all to answer this however you feel you need to answer it. And this question is an introspective question to kind of have you looking at yourself. What is something that you didn't pay attention to when you were younger that you had to learn the hard way growing up?
Damn, dude. Oof. You couldn't give us a heads up before you're gonna ask this, like a few days. Okay.
I heard you, but ask it again.
What is something that you had to learn that you didn't pay attention to when you were younger that you had to learn the hard way?
Oof. There's a couple of things that come to my mind. Oof.
I think for me, I can't really pinpoint any specific times or give any specific examples, but I think, I don't know. I don't understand why I keep prefacing my answer, but for me, it's the power of my actions and how they can really impact people and myself, not only today, but for the future as well. There are some things, that we do when we're younger that we want to do because of the moment that we don't realize is going to maybe not do us any favors in the future, and I think nowadays, the sooner people can realize the power of their actions, and that includes the power of their words, the sooner they can realize that, the better the world will be, because I would hope that they would move with positive intentions and create, positive output in the world, if that makes any sense. So for me, it would be the power of actions.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, snaps for that.
Right?
Yes.
I watch
Okay,
anime.
Wow. Seriously, there's times when she be saying stuff, I'm like, really? Like, she just amazing. Do you have anything? I'm still pondering. I know. I think something, maybe I think that's hard. Maybe the thing that I'm thinking of for me personally is because, I know we talked about earlier that growing up we were pretty timid. But I noticed for me, just growing up and just even well into because I'm 40 now, and I feel like recently I've had kind of like this awakening that I really need to take care of myself, and I'm not just talking about just like physically fit and all that stuff. I'm talking about all aspects, like mental, physical, spiritually, all those things, because I've recently had to get to a point where because I thought I could do everything. I was, because I think we also live in a society where it's like you have to do all of these, you have to do this, that, and all at the same time. When really, we're not really meant to multitask, like really focus on one thing at a time. But I wasn't taking a break. The company that I work for, I've worked there for about 9 years now, and the very first time I took a vacation from there was last year. And yeah, not good. And just because I can do it all doesn't mean that it's sustainable. You know what I mean? And so it made me realize that, wow, I need to stop and really take a break, and that it's okay to not have to do everything all the time, and that it's actually not healthy to do everything all the time. You need to step back and really give yourself that moment to take a break, so that you're not, so you can be the best version of yourself. So I'm a mother, and I noticed that when I'm doing all those other things all the time, I'm not the best mom. I'm going to be honest, I'm more irritable and I have less patience. And my kids don't deserve that. They deserve a mom that is present and happy, and someone that just has energy to be with them. So that would probably be mine. Okay, so my sisters are badasses. It's just interesting to hear.
They are.
Like, they're so cool. Like Sher'l with who she was as a kid, and calling out how she like wants to reevaluate her actions and how they impact the world. And Kandyce grew up as such a perfectionist, and so to hear that she's trying to reevaluate what that looks like and how to like deprogram that out of herself so she can just be who she is. I think that's really cool. For me, it would be that I was always okay. I was always okay for who I was, shy, quirky, strange, weird, whatever kind of label that people wanted to put on me, because I was what I was and I am who I am. And at the time, and even now, there are moments when I was like, oh, I'm so weird and so strange, and like how I see the world and da-da-da. But like as an adult, I see like those were the things, as people are reframing the terminology of like those are superpowers. And those were my superpowers. I'm very observant. I listen really well to what people are saying, so I can really hear what's going on because of who I was as a child. Being able to find my voice and see the world with the perspective that I have and the uniqueness that I have are things that show up in how I am able to show up as an activist, show up as an advocate, to see people for who they are versus what they want the world to see them as. Those are things that I wish that I understood, that they weren't things that were pulling me away from trying to fit in or whatever, that they were something that people wish that they could just take ownership of and be proud of. And nowadays, like, that's what I am realizing. Like, those are things that I am proud about who I am, and that I always was okay.
Okay. So we have being more conscious of the actions that we have and how they pan out in the bigger picture. We have the self-care, being more intentional about taking care of self as a whole. And I'm a parent that I can understand, because I got a son that played travel basketball. We own businesses. We work full time. I pastor a church. Yada 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 yada. Right. Um, so finding that balance for yourself is very important, and being okay with being okay, and being okay with being. I mean, I think that y'all are phenomenal, and I think that y'all are going to be really really successful and blow up. And I'm grateful that y'all pulled up and sat down and chilled with me for a few minutes. Um, that wasn't supposed to be the last question, but this just popped in my head. What would you tell a young girl who is in your situation right now? What would you encourage them to do right now? That growing up like y'all grew up, or being in that space that y'all in, what would you say? What would you say to a young lady in your situation right now? Words of encouragement.
That's a good one too. I already know. It's exactly what I said before. You're okay. You are, everything that you are right now is excellent, is beautiful, is magical, it's special, and there's no one else in the world that is you. So hopefully, like, in this time, that people who see that light try to take from it and try to tear that down, don't allow it. Like, be exactly who you are, because that is perfectly okay, because that's your magic.
Love that. That could be one voice, one sound, like drumline.
Okay. Sher'l, do you have anything?
One of my mantras is don't shelter yourself for nobody. So that's what I would tell young person like me. Don't shelter yourself for nobody.
I love that.
Jeez,
I love that too.
Y'all make this hard.
I think the thing that's coming to my mind is sensitivity, because I'm such a sensitive being to begin with. Sensitivity. Don't let people make you feel that your sensitivity it doesn't make you weak at all. It's actually a superpower. It really is. Lean into that, and you'll figure out how strong you truly are when you lean into that sensitivity.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, y'all got anything else y'all want to say to the people?
We love y'all. Yes. Y'all amazing. Thank you so much for just being here. And seriously, let's give it up for Maurice. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. Question. Okay. Taking us to church.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing your platform with us and letting us spend some time with you, because your time is very valuable as well. So thank you for spending time with us and getting to know us more on a personal level.
Y'all family now.
Yeah, because you're gonna come on our
this
podcast.
is not the y'all family. Once we do this, y'all good. If y'all ever pull up in Indiana, Southern Indiana, Louisville, and y'all like, yo, we in the area, can we stay? We got space. Y'all more than welcome to pull up and hang out with us.
It's coming up soon, so we might.
Y'all more than welcome. Y'all more than welcome. I'll be shooting you a message like, hey, can you get me a buddy pass?
Like, no worries, got you.
Well, look, you've been chilling with C. Maurice Ball on the podcast. We got Sher'l, LaToya, and Kandyce, Sistas Unscripted. They've been rocking with me for this short time. Hey, I love you like a play cousin, and I'm out. Peace.
Peace out.